As the soft light of June stretches across the English countryside, we find ourselves at a gentle turning point in the year, a moment suspended by spring's final sigh and summer's warm embrace. It's in this quiet space that we're invited to pause, to find balance. All around us, nature offers us subtle lessons. The hedgerows hum with bees, foxgloves stand tall like sentinels in long grass, and the air is heavy with the scent of elderflower and wild roses. The days are getting longer now, unfolding slowly like a page turning in a well-loved book, and everything seems to whisper, "Slow down, be still." In the kitchen garden, the first flush of strawberries glisten under dewy leaves, and broad beans push upwards with a quiet strength. Everything grows with intention, shaped not by haste, but by time and care. It's a reminder that we too thrive when we honour the seasons, inside and out. During these days, balance isn't a concept, it's a rhythm. It's the harmony between work and rest, movement and stillness, doing and simply being. I'm grateful to 𝑭𝒂𝒕 for challenging me to focus on this balance at this magical time of year. Let this video be an invitation to step outside, to reconnect with the land, and to remember that joy often lives in the simplest of places. A walk through tall grasses, the laughter of swallows overhead, the smell of mint between your fingers. So, come with me, let's breathe in the beauty of early June. Let's slow down, root ourselves in the present, and rediscover the quiet magic of balance here in the heart of the English countryside.
And welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to June. Wow, how quickly this year is going. It is actually a little bit petrifying, but I think June is my favourite month of the year. I just love that kind of hint that summer is coming, but before everything gets really crazy and overgrown and too hot. Also when it comes to flowers that are in bloom this month, veg that you can sow and harvest, and things that you can forage. Yeah, I think it is definitely my favourite month, and also the month of our wedding anniversary, which is lovely. So today has actually been a really lovely start to the day. It's just gone midday. I'm having quite a slow day today, but did a nice workout, and then as you saw, I made my first of the year kitchen garden frittata, which was scrumptious. I basically just go and grab whatever leaves or whatever I can find in the garden that would work well in an omelette. This morning it was rainbow chard and 2 different kinds of kale, and then mix that in with some cheddar cheese. It was delicious, but the star of the show was what you just saw me making, which was a fresh homegrown rhubarb, rose and strawberry smoothie. It was 10 out of 10. I've mentioned many times before that as much as I know roses need to be deadheaded, I get really sad throwing away beautiful, perfect rose petals. And all roses, actually except for a couple of really random varieties that are quite rare, you'd only find them in Kew Gardens, like special places. Anyway, you don't need to worry about those. All asterisk roses are edible, and so I put a handful of the petals of one of the roses into my smoothie, and it was, I think, the best smoothie I have ever made. So I'm going to perfect the recipe, and then I will share it with you either on a blog post or most probably in my newsletter. So if I've perfected it by when are you watching this? Thursday. If I've perfected it by the time this video is edited, then we will leave the full recipe in tomorrow's newsletter, which is now back up and running. We took a little break from the newsletter after the hack, but it is now back up and running, so I hope that you guys, if you are signed up, you saw it in your inbox last week, and there will be another one tomorrow. It's just a weekly roundup of our favourite things, whether it's things you can forage that week, or seasonal recipes, or if we've seen a really beautiful collection of clothes on the high street, we might do an edit. It's just, you know, fun extra stuff in your inbox, and it's a great way of saving down the recipes as well. So there we go. Anyway, today we are heading to our friends Phil and Hannah's house for a barbecue later on, but I have got quite a monstrous to-do list for the weekend. I'm not going to put too much pressure on to tick everything off today because that just won't be possible, but a few things on my to-do list. I still have not planted out my dahlias, so I need to do that today. But I also want to make a rhubarb, rose and chia seed jam. I did make one of these last year. I don't know if I documented it, probably in one of the vlogs. But that is such a delicious thing to make. It takes only around 10 minutes, and I thought I could take a jar to Phil and Hannah's later on as a little treat. I know they love their healthy homemade goodies, so that should be lovely. And yeah, I basically, if you watch to the end of the last vlog, you'll know that I went to Burford Garden Company and I did buy a few more seeds. I did. So I've got a little bit of seed sowing to do, but my kitchen garden needs my attention, so I really want to tackle that. Peas need stringing up, broad beans need supporting. The garden to-do list at this time of year is mega, so without further ado, I feel like we should crack on. Okay, we've got the goods from the garden, a load of really thick chunky rhubarb stalks and a few little skinny ones as well, and then loads of roses, which given another day would be ready to be deadheaded, so this feels like the ultimate way to use them up. So I'm just going to chop up the rhubarb and pluck the petals from the roses, make sure there's no little bugs on there, give the rhubarb a wash, and then we're ready to start sauteing. Okay, my darlings, you can probably hear the kettle boiling in the background, but the jam is pretty much done. I've just got to wait for it to cool down now, and the chia seeds will continue to kind of gelatinize and set the jam a little bit more, but even this consistency is absolutely perfect. So I've got this little bowl here with the tops of my strawberries and rose petals that are left over, and I don't want them to go to waste, so I'm actually just going to put them in my little basket and make a strawberry and rose and maybe mint tea, just a couple of sprigs of mint so it's not too overpowering. But I'm going to leave the strawberry and the rose to infuse a little bit longer before I add the mint in. This is a great tea for digestion and calmingness with the rose petal and the mint, so it's a nice one just to save your strawberry tops as a little kind of after dinner tea. So I'm just going to leave this to sit for 5 minutes. This would also be amazing saved for an iced tea as well. Okay, the jam is cooling and the tea is brewing. Now one other thing I'm going to do is, because I don't want this lemon half to go straight away in the bin, I'm just going to use it to wipe over my chopping board. You might have noticed that it was a little bit stained from turmeric,
And lemon juice is the most amazing natural cleaner. So whenever I've got a lemon half, I always try and find something to clean with it. You might remember a couple of vlogs ago, I stuck essentially one of these in the kettle and boiled it for a little while, and that's a great little lime scale remover. You can almost kind of invert them and use it as a bit of a scrub. I'll leave this to sit for a few minutes and it'll deep clean and hopefully improve that turmeric stain on the board. If you've got any stains in your sink, you can use it for that as well. Okay, the jam is thickening up really, really nicely. I think in a few minutes it will be done. Ooh, heavy. And then an exciting delivery, well, hand delivered by Charlie because he picked it up when he was at the gym this morning, from Bamford. If you happen to visit the Bamford store at Chelsea Flower Show, you might have spotted their beautiful geranium table linen, napkins, and the gorgeous new candle that they have. Well, they can't sell those exact pieces because I don't think there's any marks on them, but they're not quite 100% perfect. So the Bamford team have very kindly let Charlie and I have that exact set that was on display at Chelsea Flower Show. So technically, I have got an award-winning Chelsea Flower Show table linen set in here. If you didn't catch it at the flower show, I will set it up on a full tablescape very, very soon, I'm sure. But just to give you an idea, probably going to pop everything through the wash, but it's got this really beautiful geranium leaf pattern around the outside, which is so delicate, and the tablecloth itself actually has this pattern that drops down as well. It is so stunning. So I think we've got 8 napkins here, and the tablecloth, which has got a little bit more of that geranium pattern on it. So pretty. But yeah, I am just going to stick that through the washing machine. Oh, one of my heatless curlers. I don't know if I left that at the flower show or in the car. And then this is very exciting. This is one of the new ceramic geranium candles, and it is the Tormentosum fragrance, which is the one which is a little bit minty, so very fresh, good for cutting through cooking smells, and a great one I would say for in the kitchen, but also very fresh and clean smelling, so also quite a nice bathroom scent. And again, this was lit during the Chelsea Flower Show, so it's not 100% perfect, but oh my goodness, it is ginormous. It's the one with the beautiful green inside. It smells, oh my gosh, that smells so good, and I will definitely be using this as a plant pot afterwards. It's got the lovely geranium indentation in the beautiful ceramic. Oh my gosh, I would say I've probably got at least 100 hours burn time left in this. So I'm very, very grateful to the Bamford team for letting us have these pieces. What can I do with this? That's such a substantial box. Any ideas what I can use this for? Let me know. Well, I never added in any mint, so let's see how this tastes. Just, oh, it's pink. Just as a strawberry and rose tea. It's lovely, but it is quite subtle, so I think I will add a couple of mint leaves in just to give it a little bit of zing. Anyway, let's jar up my lovely jam. I can't believe how perfect the quantities were on this, especially considering I literally eyeballed all of the quantities when making this. I have had a little taste test and it is delicious. It's quite thick because of the amount of chia seeds that I added in. So what I imagine that I will do with this is probably, yes, have it on toast, but also stir it into a plain yogurt to make it into a rhubarb and rose flavored yogurt. I think that'll be delicious. And because I haven't put any citric acid in this, it will probably only last about a week to 10 days in the fridge. So anything that's left at the end of the week, I'll stick in a smoothie and it'll be absolutely delicious. This would be so nice as a middle layer of a cake as well. How scrumptious, but no sugar. Obviously we've got the maple syrup in there, which gives it sweetness, the berries, all goodness. And then you get the fiber and the protein from the chia seed. It's basically a superfood jam. Love it. Okay, I'm gonna head out into the garden now and start tackling my to-do list. We're gonna leave for our friend's house in a couple of hours, and I should probably change out of my very cute little shorts. As lovely as they are, I feel like, ooh, camera lens cap.
I feel like they're probably not the most suitable for gardening, but I really love these. They are from the high street, so nice and affordable, and they look very chic, especially with the addition of my Amazon belt. But yeah, I'm gonna pop on something a little bit more ready for rumbling around in the raised beds and head outside. Okay, I have just spent 20 minutes pulling up so much rhubarb because our plant was, quite honestly, it was going crazy as you saw this morning, and I now have a giant trug of rhubarb. I've popped all of the leaves in the compost bin. Gosh, I need to find some neighbours or someone. Also, Lila loves rhubarb. I know Charlie likes it with his yogurt, but my gosh, that is a lot of rhubarb. I'm going to take a huge armful to Phil and Hannah's house later today, but I think I'd better chop up half of this and put it in the freezer. Oh, and I also found a couple of potatoes that were hidden away in the garden. I never planted potatoes, so they must have come from a bird. Okay, my darlings, out of gardening attire into something a little bit more presentable. We are heading out now to Phil and Hannah's. I think we're having a barbecue. It was meant to be pure sun and 22 degrees this evening. It's really cloudy, so hopefully when we get to their house the clouds will have gone, but I've popped on this nice little knitted vest top, which is from Bamford, and a little reminder, my Daylesford and Bamford discount code, I'll pop the date on the screen here that it runs out. It's not an always on code. I think you've got a couple of weeks left, but if you want to stock up on anything from Daylesford, like their ketchups or their jams or anything, their crockery, the geranium table set that I just showed you, or Bamford clothing, candles, they don't often do discounts, and I don't think they've ever given someone like a content creator a discount code before, so make the most of that. And then I've popped on my lovely tangerine skirt, which is just so joyous. It's such a lovely piece, and really, really comfortable. Great for afternoons like this. So I'm going to take them a big bag full of rhubarb, but I thought I would also just quickly whiz into the garden and put Hannah together a nice little bouquet of flowers. Well, it is very far from my finest work, but when we get there I'll ask Hannah if I can just pop them in a vase for her, and I'll make them look pretty. I'll just trim the stems and we're good to go. Spotted on our walk, someone has been very Speedy Gonzalez, because this is the King's Rose. Yeah, only released by David Austin this year. I bet 99% of people walking past wouldn't realise, but yeah, and it clearly loves it here. We're back at Phil and Hannah's, and my flowers perfectly match Hannah's lovely tablescape. How wonderful. He's gonna do it again, he's gonna do it again.
Something momentous has just happened. Daylesford yogurt has been usurped by a different dog.
Wow.
And look, so for anyone that doesn't know, and for anyone that is interested, which is probably about 0.3% of Josie's YouTube channel right now, every morning, or most mornings, Josie and I have yogurt with berries, seeds, berries from the garden now. Tim Spector approved breakfast.
Rhubarb chia seed jam from the garden.
Interesting. The dogs often then lick this clean, which is obviously Carol Bamford's finest product, Daylesford organic natural yogurt, which is lovely. And that's their treat, and then they have their breakfast. And they love different dog, but obviously normally, like most people, they would always go for the human treat before the dog food. But Dexter has actually left this, abandoned it, and gone straight for his food.
Daddy, it's braised beef, it's my favourite.
Look how shiny my coat is.
Just to show that we are being fully authentic, though. This one.
I choose yogurt every day.
I always choose yogurt.
I choose yogurt.
My friend Carol makes the best yogurt.
Yes, she fermented it herself, I heard.
But that is pretty momentous. And it is. I think that's the important thing, actually, for anyone that is familiar with Different Dog and that is thinking of getting it for their pups. We've kind of, over the years, really honed in on the recipes they love, because they're so funny, because the beef ones, you'd have thought they'd love beef, but only certain ones. Their favourite is that perfect picnic.
Perfect picnic.
Perfect picnic.
And
they also
braised
love
beef.
Turkey fricassee.
This
Which surprises me, because turkey's not something I think that they'd love, but it's really good for them, turkey, obviously, 'cause it's high protein, low fat. And then this one is beef.
Braised beef.
Braised beef. I love it.
Daddy, I love it. I really like yogurt.
No, now it's time for breakfast.
Oh, it's on
Come
his
on.
snood.
Come on.
Look how glossy Dexy's coat is.
I'll have yogurt for starter.
Yogurt is my amuse-bouche. And now I've got my goat supplement on top of my braised beef.
And to finish off this dog feature, this Sunday morning dog feature, for most people that own dogs, they will probably think this is quite normal. Just dogs eating their breakfast.
Not sausages.
But for sausage dogs, they are unlike other dogs. They normally hold out until we've eaten something, until they go back for their food.
Dickie's got yogurt on his eyebrows. My precious children. Good morning, my darlings. Good afternoon, actually. It's 2 o'clock. Today has been the Sundayest Sunday of all time. I have just been pottering around doing the household things that in the week I just don't find time for. My dressing room, thank goodness it's up and away from Charlie, because Charlie and I like a tidy and well-maintained house. My dressing room is the complete opposite of that. It is such a mess up there. My suitcase from the Aix-en-Provence trip is just flung open, there's clothes everywhere. So I've just spent the last half an hour, actually more like an hour, tidying up there, doing a little mini clear out, a few beauty products that I realised I didn't really like anymore, lipsticks that I felt weren't working for me colour-wise, like blushes and bronzers that are a bit old. I just cleared those out. I sharpened all of my lip liners and eyebrow pencils. That was fun. Just while listening to, Sunday is also the day that a lot of people, myself included, upload YouTube videos, and a lot of people that I like to watch upload on Sunday mornings. So there's always lots for me to watch. So I just popped videos on, sharpened my pencils, cleaned my makeup brushes, and now I'm tidying the dining room. That room there, because also our dining table, it's rooms that you don't go in like regularly. I would never leave the kitchen in such a state, but the dining table, because we don't go in there that often, to be honest, it's not really a dining room. It's drying clothes and dumping stuff on the table room. The dining table is just covered in stuff that I haven't been bothered to sort out. So like jam jars, where shall I put them? Or, ooh, there's a new pasta that needs to go in a jar. I'll just stick it in there until I can be bothered to deal with it. And also just, I remember when I did my spring cleaning video, I ordered loads of essential oils and cleaning bottles. I hadn't yet put them away. So I'm in the process of tidying out that room, the dining table, and for some reason, while I was in France, Charlie tidied away my sprouting jars and put them in there. So if I don't see it, I'll often forget about it. So now that I've been reminded about my sprouting jars, luckily it's only been 10 days, but I'm gonna set off a few more sprouts. If anyone's new here, this is an obsession that I have. Sprouts are basically little tiny seeds, and within 3 days these will be, I'll show you in the next vlog, little sprouts. I'll pop a photo on the screen here. And they are so packed full of goodness. I put them on soups, salads, pasta dishes, avocado toast, blend a few little handfuls in a smoothie. They are so good for you and so affordable, and it's just something nice and easy that you can grow at home. So what I'm going to do is pop just 1 tablespoon in each of these jars, and each jar just has a little bit of filtered water. And I'll leave my sprouting jars and my seeds linked down below. It's important to make sure that the seeds you get are high quality. So 1 spoonful in there. You can buy already made sprouts, but oops, my battery died mid-sentence. I think I was saying that you can buy little plastic tubs of these sprouts, but they're normally around £5 for a tub. This was £5.50 for this bag, and I could make the equivalent of maybe 50 to 100 tubs with this amount of seeds. So it's so much more affordable if you want to get more nutrition into a children's diet, or in my case, my diet, Charlie's diet, my brother's diet. We're on a mission to get my brother healthier. But yeah, they're just a fantastic thing. I would like stick them in stews, just put them on everything, and they're really wonderful. So they are going to soak up this filtered water until tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, you can see the top of the jar is a mesh. I will pour the water out and rinse them, and then you basically fill the jar with water, shake it about a little bit to give the seeds a rinse, and then pour the water out, so you've just got these damp little seeds. You do that twice a day. I pop it by my coffee machine so I don't forget in the morning, and also it's right by the cupboard where the dogs 𝑡𝑟𝑒𝒆𝒅, so I don't forget in the evenings either. Again, I need to see it in order to remember to do it. So they live on this little stand, because then tonight they'll be upright, obviously, so the water doesn't fall out, but then tomorrow they will be leaning on the stand like this, so that they can just kind of drip. I'll show you in the next vlog, but anyway, that's that job done. And another little job I need to do is I bought these little kind of like mascara tubes, because what I like to do in the evening is brush castor oil through my eyebrows. I'm trying to grow my eyebrows. Castor oil is very affordable and pretty much the best thing that you can use. Save yourself from buying any of the expensive ones. This is the brand that I get. Again, I'll leave it linked down below. There we go. And I'll pop that on my bedside table and brush that through my brows each evening before bed. I have been doing that with the castor oil for the past 2 months, I would say. And I mean, my brows are still quite thin, but I guess I'm seeing a little bit more new growth in the sparse areas. But I think they say you've got to leave it a couple of months, or at least 6 to 8 weeks before you start seeing a difference anyway. So there we go, that's a couple of little odd jobs done. Now I'm going to continue tidying the room of doom. Okay, I've now moved on to cleaning out the cupboards, and in summer we often turn off the 𝑭𝒂𝒕 and use a kettle instead of our 𝑭𝒂𝒕 kettle. So I'm going to do, like I said yesterday, popping the lemon in there and boiling it up a few times, and this acts as a really great natural lime scale remover and general cleaner. Okay, my darlings, it is 3:30 now. I've been literally waiting all day for the sun to come out and for the wind to die down so I can go and do my gardening jobs, but still doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I actually was starting to organise this cupboard. I'm in just such an organisy mood today, and I found my lilac sugar. So a couple of weeks ago I showed you foraging lilac. It's so lovely and tasty, and so many things you can do with flowers like lilac, and something that preserves them for a little while longer is adding them in with some sugar, and then you can use it for baking, sprinkling on things, sprinkling on cakes. You could even put it in your coffee or whatever you like to do. I'm going to make lilac shortbread, and I'm going to use my, is it lavender shortbread recipe? I've definitely got a recipe on the blog which is like a floral shortbread, and my secret ingredient is rice. I know, it's really random, but I will leave that blog post linked down in the description box. And I'm basically just going to swap in whatever the edible flour was in that recipe for my lilac sugar, and I might add in just a drop of rose water. So I'm going to be lazy right now and do it in my Thermomix, but on the blog post it shows you how to do it without a Thermomix. I really have to stop saying I'm going to be lazy and use a Thermomix, because if you've got one, why wouldn't you use it? So I'm going to say I'm being practical and using my Thermomix. My dough has been in the fridge for about 20 minutes, and that just helps it to firm up a little bit. And now I'm going to roll it out. So I've just realised, of course, this is the base to my jammy dodgers, which I could very easily turn these into a rhubarb and lilac jammy dodger. I might do that for a couple of them. I also grabbed some edible flowers from M&S yesterday, so I could press those into a couple of bits, but maybe I'll save them for something better. This feels quite loose. Maybe I need to add in a bit more flour. Okay, they are out of the oven, and I've just done the all-important taste test on one of my little scrappy bits. I don't like anything to go to waste, so I just shoved the end of the scrappy bits on the tray as well, and still warm, super crumbly, very subtle lilac flavour. I would maybe do a bit more of the flavour next time, maybe add in some lilac syrup or something. What I could do is do an icing on these and put lilac syrup in the icing. I might do that tomorrow, maybe. But yeah, they're absolutely scrumptious. They did rise a little bit, or spread a little bit. I thought they would do because they were quite squishy. So they're a very good sized shortbread biscuit. Perfect for dunking in a cup of tea. So good, and so easy. Okay, my darlings, I've just been doing some really boring greenhouse tidying jobs, like emptying out seed trays of seedlings that had not really done very well. My fault for not watering them properly or getting them out in time. But now I'm going to reward myself with a fun job, which is sowing a few more microgreens. They work well all throughout the year, so it's a great thing to grow, well, literally any time, even when nothing else is growing. And just like sprouts that I showed you earlier in the jars, they're also just full of goodness. They will take a little bit longer to grow, so I like to kind of do a pot every week, but seeing as I haven't done it for a while, I'm going to do 4 pots, and hopefully we'll have plenty in time for Dexter's birthday party, and I can put them on all the different dishes. So today I'm going to do this one, which is a beetroot, and they'll be a really nice red colour. I'm going to do pak choy, they're really tasty. This one is radish, these grow really quickly. And then I haven't done fenugreek before, but they're a little bit spicier in flavour. And normally I would do them in a tray like, where's it gone? One with like a cloche lid. But I've noticed that a few of my pots, like this ranunculus, hasn't done anything. So I'm actually just going to put the tiniest little bit of seed compost on top and then sow my microgreens into terracotta pots, because then if I want to bring them in the kitchen, this is a little bit more aesthetic. So I'm going to pop a YouTube video on in the background and yeah, just have a relaxing 10 minutes or so sowing my microgreens. Microgreens done. Now I'm going to pot on this chili inferno that I got from Burford a couple of days ago. Was that in the last vlog? Yeah, I think it was the last one. We can see from its roots that it's ready to get planted. So I'm going to fill this up with a little bit more compost, give it a good water. And I've got another pot here because, maybe that one. No, I think actually it needs something bigger. I'm going to find a bigger pot to pot on this pink tiger tomato. been busy barbecuing while I've been pottering.
Spatchcock chicken.
Spatchcock. Remind me what spatchcock actually means.
It just means that basically the chicken, you break it so that you can open it up.
Oh, okay.
And cook it. It cooks a lot quicker that way.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at it, it's been sort of like
splayed.
I don't want to go into too much detail for people, but it's very nice.
Nice. Broccoli and asparagus.
And asparagus.
With chili pepper.
Yeah, and then we've had the broccoli and the asparagus has been on the barbecue.
And chips. Looks amazing, darling. Thank you. Just finished our dinner, and I've got normally my morning smoothie, but I forgot to have it this morning, and it really needs drinking today, so this is going to be my little palate cleanser. I haven't filmed anything up in this green room in a long time because, as you might be able to see, we're using this bed frame to just kind of sort through all of our bed linen, and it's a little bit of a mess up here, so that's why, but it's got nice light at the moment, and I have got something to unbox with you, or unbag with you. I had a lovely delivery from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, which is so very, very, very exciting. And as soon as I saw their new collection on Instagram, I just thought, wow, I didn't think their designs could get any better, but this is quite possibly the most beautiful bag in the world, and I think I'm going to be wearing this all summer. It's a very kind of, well, you'll see it's a very Josie bag. So let's reveal it together. Bag within a bag, within a box. And oh my gosh, I think if you follow 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 on Instagram and you spotted this bag, I think you'll know which one this is straight away. I haven't seen it in real life yet, so let's hope this is magical in real life. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness me. I love quite a big bag, don't I? To fit all of my stuff in. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She's a beauty. This is so perfect. I don't actually know if this lighting is very good. If we can just ignore all of the bed linen in the background, this is probably... This is ridiculous. These are all the different sets that we've got, including for the holiday cottages. So it's when they get muddled up, this is what we have to do, just lay them all out to organise them. But they've been like this, I think, since January. That is embarrassing, isn't it? Very embarrassing. Anyway, back to the bag. So my love of raffia just grows year on year. I do think raffia is so versatile. It just goes with both smart and casual outfits. Oh my goodness. Such a good size. I actually think my laptop will fit in this. You've got little hooks if you want to keep the handles together. I've actually never seen this before. Quite a nice design detail. And then if you have it open, there's a little clip on the inside. So if we unclip, do you know what? You can, of course, you can open it up. Wow. And then it's a huge tote. Oh my goodness, absolutely ginormous. And I guess you could wear it with the sides out as well. A little bit like those mulberry bags back in the day, the 𝑭𝒊𝒅𝒆, but I think it looks a little bit neater on with them on the inside. There's a zippy pocket there. The quality is absolutely beautiful. From certain angles, it's a little bit kind of Birkin-esque, but it's not trying to be one, if you know what I mean. A lovely little clasp, which I think has got some plastic on it at the moment. I think it is shiny gold under here. This is always a very satisfying moment. There we go. As you can see, I haven't taken the plastic off these bits, but that's a nice little shiny clasp. You can undo it if you want to, but I don't actually think it does anything, so you might as well leave it closed. I feel like this is going to be a really nice travel bag, like an airport bag, but also just if you've got a plain brown leather bag for your everyday work bag, this would be a really nice switch up. And 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 price points are really good. They are not designer price points. They're above high street, I would say a little bit above premium high street, but very much accessible luxury. And the quality, like I have got Dior bags that are far lower quality than this that were about 10 times, literally 10 times the price. So they really do hit that perfect quality versus price. You could wear it that way round if you didn't love the clasp so much, but actually I think that is absolutely gorgeous. So I cannot wait to put all of my bits and bobs in here and stock it up as my everyday summer handbag. Let me know what you guys think. I will find this exact one and leave it linked down below, but I truly just think the quality, the visual, I think it's absolutely stunning. Thank you, 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. I feel very, very, very spoiled, and wow, this is my dream bag. Well, my darlings, what you just saw was me whipping up a batch of rhubarb compote. It literally took 10 minutes after I chopped the rhubarb in the Thermomix, and I can add that to yogurts, put it in cakes, and do goodness knows what with that over the next couple of weeks. But my darlings, I'm going to end the vlog here, so thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been quite a nice, relaxing, wholesome start of summer, June, can't believe it, vlog here in the Cotswolds. So thank you if you got to the end. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.